Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm excited to be with you here today, exchanging knowledge and wisdom with such an elite group. Thank you, Triscon, for making this happen. I would like to share with you a little story about a boy that was born a few years back in Baku, Azerbaijan. He was named Gary, a smart boy, passionate about education, intelligence, games, and with no doubt, he mastered the game of chess. As he grew older, he became the champion of chess year over year over year, until he reached the age of 34, and something else happened. I'll keep you hanging here with this thought for a minute, and we will come back to the story in a while. What is artificial intelligence? Is it computers talking to each other? Is it the singularity point where Terminator will overtake the nations? Or what is it all about? Alan Turing and his team managed, with the power of artificial intelligence and around thousands of CPUs, to crack the code. Back to Gary. Gary actually is Garry Kasparov, the famous one. When he was playing chess at some point of time in his career, he was able to play simultaneously with 32 active chess games, and he won them. In 1997, he actually lost to the Deep Blue. The Deep Blue was the name of that artificial machine. Next, Deep Blue was processing 200 million options of movements of what he will do next. Which year was that again? 1997. The scary part is that that powerful Deep Blue computer is this tiny little one compared to the monster that you have in your pockets. A small chess app game that you have is even powerful than this one. Now that we have identified briefly and only scratching the surface of how important AI is, how powerful it is, why should we care? Because I strongly believe in what Lewis have mentioned here. Whatever made you successful in the past, rest assured, it won't in the future. You have to evolve. We all remember the names of Pan Am, of Nokia, of big names who thought they will never be defeated. They will last there forever, but they are not. The e-commerce and logistics. Few days back, on the Singles Day of 11/11, I'm sure you might have heard about it, Alibaba Express, when they have done their Singles Day promotion, in the first 20 minutes of that day, they have cashed in $20 billion. Because I spent many years in logistics and supply chain between aviation, maritime, logistics, and others, here are just few examples of what could be the future looking like. Of course, the picture to your left could be a current situation, while the right, with the facial recognition, we actually participated in some analysis and studies to count how many times does a passenger have to take their passport, ticket out of their pockets, presented to the check-in agent, the boarding, the immigration, and at some time for security reasons, just before you get into the airplane another time. Will this be there within the artificial intelligence? Another example is the land transport, where in many countries, this is not a very strange picture to the left, but actually the future is autonomous trucks with no drivers. Bear in mind, no matter how successful this is going to be, are you going to put your son or daughter in an autonomous car, let's say with 90 or 95% accuracy? I don't think so. So the singularity point, in my perspective, is far-fetched. I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Maritime and port management. Whenever we are shipping anything from one country to the other, we are moving from the left picture where anything can go wrong. And if you are shipping your next Ferrari, you don't want it to be here. You want to have it hand-carried, drone-carried. You want to have I.oT sensors there, so you make sure that you are seeing your car or your stallion horse coming from wherever. You want to see the temperature, the humidity. Vitsu, in The Art of War, he did mention that the line between disorder and order is in logistics. For us in the state of Qatar, 97% of our imports come by the sea. 99% of our exports is also by the key message is maritime business is very crucial for us. So we have to focus on it. Unfortunately, within the maritime business, it is the oldest industry, yet the slowest one to adopt into technology. For example, within the aviation business, the CO2 emissions was into play many years ago. The carbon emissions, the quota, and all of it. While in the maritime business, only next year, IMO, International Maritime Organization, is pushing the carbon emissions into play in January, while this was done years ahead in the land transport and years ahead into aviation. All the huge sums of data that we are gathering from all of these IoT devices has to be processed intelligently and moving the big, huge cluster of data into usable recommendations for the management to take it up. I strongly believe that it is very easy to come up and accept new ideas, but it is very difficult to get rid of the old ones. We have to be cognizant here that it is not Deep Blue that defeated him, but all the smart brains behind Deep Blue, which are human, just like you, me, and all of us. How can we maximize that? Work hard. Make sure that you are collaborating, asking. There is never a wrong question. And I keep learning every day from the janitor to the biggest individual that I will meet every day. Remember, it's not about us or here or today. It's about our younger generation, about the future, about tomorrow. It's about giving back to this country what it deserves. It's linking the Qatar Vision 2030. It's about this young guy who is trusting us that we are making and taking the right decisions for him or her.